Hey there guys, what is going on? Today we are talking about the 3 best class setups in Modern Warfare that are completely underrated by pretty much everybody who does play this game. Like, you'll very rarely see some of the weapons that we do have on this little list here. It's only a short list, but it is a very important one. People don't typically want to use meta weapons all the time. Sometimes you just want to chill and hang out and have a bit of fun with some weapons that are a little bit unusual. So of course, as I said, we are going to be taking a look at 3 weapons here today. But just before we start that list off, let's try and get this one to 22 likes. The support from you guys has continued to be absolutely fantastic recently. Like, I think we did recently hit 2,600 subscribers, which is pretty wild. So big thank you to all of you. Make sure, if you haven't already done so, to hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on, just in case you don't want to miss out on any of the upcoming Season 5 content. And let's just jump straight into our list here. So the first weapon we are taking a look at here today is, of course, the Oden. Almost forgot the name of the weapon there because nobody ever uses this thing. But as of, I think, the most recent balance patch with the 4 Season 5 update, they actually changed the Oden to feature a one-shot headshot with the stopping power rounds, which is completely wild. You can now get a one-shot kill with the Oden. Normally, it's about a 2-shot, I think, unless you're, like, hitting limbs or something like that, it's mostly a 2-shot. Like, if you hit somebody in the chest, like, this kind of area here, you're going to be getting a 2-shot kill, which is very, very powerful for a weapon that does shoot kind of slowly. As for our attachments on the Oden here, we are looking at the Colossus Suppressor. This thing is absolutely huge. Basically, what we want is the sound suppression damage range, which is about a 15% to 10% increase, and that recoil control as well. Typically, when we do get that damage range, we also get a little bit of increased muzzle velocity, which makes our bullets hit the target a little bit faster, which is very, very important here for this particular weapon, as I said, it does have quite a slow fire rate. Moving to the stock here, we want that FTAC XLR Elite Cone for that aim down sight speed. Basically, just getting those sights up nice and quickly is very, very important here. Stipple grip tape, of course, aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, some of the best stats that you can get in the game at the moment. We do want that 25 or the 30 round mags. I haven't unlocked the 30 round mags, but the 25 does a decent job. I don't think there's a too significant penalty for running either of these in terms of aim down sight speed and movement speed, so you need more bullets, so we take more bullets. The underbarrel is always a point of contention with most weapons. We're going with the Commando foregrip, but the Merc foregrip as well is always a decent option for that increased movement speed, as long with the recoil control and that hipfire accuracy, which the hipfire accuracy is not super important with this particular gun, as I said, it does have that slow fire rate, so that's not really too much of an option most of the time. As I said, for the Oden to be super effective, one of the best weapons in the game right now, we do need those stopping power rounds, which can take a little while to come online. So we do, of course, want that tune-up perk to make those stopping power rounds very, very easy for us to get and make the Oden a very powerful weapon. Last little thing here is the stock Oden does actually have pretty bad iron sights, but as you can see here with this particular variant, I think this is the Black Asp. There's no little ring over the top, which makes it very, very easy to hit our shots, and these iron sights are actually super clean. It's kind of hard to see, but it's basically just a little point, and it's very, very nice to shoot people with that. Moving to the second weapon on our list here, we do have kind of an interesting one, and it's a little bit of an old school variant. Basically, we're looking at the Holger 26 with the 30 round mags, turning this into a little bit of a G36C. Now, this is an assault rifle that did receive some pretty serious changes a little while ago, making it basically a more effective weapon across the board. Plus, the 30 round mags are very similar to the 60 round mags from the Bruin MK9, making it one of the best attachments in the game. But the Holger 26 is a pretty standard assault rifle, sort of LMG hybrid, and basically it's a very powerful weapon and super underrated in this game. Nobody really gives the Holger 26 much of a chance. In terms of our attachments, we are starting with the monolithic suppressor, as we usually do for that sound suppression, and about a 10% increase to our damage range. Again, we do get that little boost to our bullet velocity as well with this. Very, very powerful to get those shots on target as far away as possible while still maintaining that sound suppression. As for our stock slot, we do want that XRK Axis stock, basically just for that aim down sight speed. Previously, we would have run the no stock, but as of the most recent balance patch before Season 5, they did nerf the no stock, so this isn't really too much of a viable option anymore, as it can make the Holger 26 a little bit more difficult to control than what we're after, so we'll just stick with the XRK Axis for now. That stipple grip tape, of course, getting that aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, and the piece de resistance, the true attachment here, the 30 round mags for that aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, movement speed, reload quickness, and of course that detachable magazine with those 30 rounds with a better reload time, I think of about 1.8 seconds, which is very, very quick for an LMG. And lastly, that Commando foregrip to help keep us on target with that recoil stabilization, making it a little bit easier to hit those shots, as this doesn't have has a little bit of sideways movement, and this helps keep that under control. Do note here that the Commando foregrip does actually help slightly, like a teeny tiny amount with our vertical recoil, so that helps a little bit too. But yeah, man, the Holger 26 is a completely underrated gun in this game. I never see anybody using it, probably because it does lack a barrel option to increase our, like, usual barrel stats that we get from most weapons. Like, mostly these are designed around having, like, that LMG style, so they do kind of suffer from not having a damage range, recoil control, and bullet velocity barrel, but it's still a very powerful weapon in this game, and definitely one that I recommend you try if you haven't used this before. And of course, the third weapon that does never get any love, completely underrated in this game, is of course the FR556. We've got the Jerboa variant here, which doesn't make it too big of a difference here as we're not using the iron sights, but pretty much any variant that you go with is going to be very, very spicy here. I do really, really like burst weapons in this game. I think they're a little bit spicy most of the time, but typically people only use the burst weapons in this game when they are completely busted. Like, you think back to like old school COD days of the M16 from Modern Warfare originally, and that was just like a 2-shot kill with a 3-burst weapon, so very, very powerful stuff, and a lot of people skip over the burst rifles when they're not super broken. As for our attachments here, we are looking for that FR 24.4-inch sniper barrel for that damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control. This is basically the barrel that the Holger 26 is looking for, but we've got it here on this particular weapon. It is very, very strong, makes it very, very easy to hit those shots, or a follow-up burst if we need to. As for our optic here, we're looking at the GI Mini Reflex, as this is the cleanest sight in the game. No like thick frame or anything like that, makes it very, very easy to hit those shots. This is nice and clean in my opinion. Cronin LP945 is also a good option here, and more recently we have actually discovered that the Core Combat Hollow Sight is very, very powerful on a lot of weapons in this game, including the newly released AN94, which Scump reckons is the best sight on that weapon, so that's what we use. So choice is yours here for an optic. As for our stock, we're looking at the FSS TAC Wrap for that aim down sight speed. Again, get those sights up nice and quickly is very, very powerful here. Also want that stipple grip tape for a very similar reason. Just basically getting those sights up nice and quickly is super, super strong. And lastly, that Commando foregrip, or again, your Merc foregrip for that recoil control, hip fire accuracy versus that recoil stabilization, and a little bit more recoil control as well. Up to you here. Basically just helps us get our shots on target, makes it very, very easy to hit those shots. I think for the most part, you're going to be looking at one-shot kills at that medium to close range distance, about 20-25 meters away. If you do aim for that chest sort of up ahead, if you sort of aim for like this region here, the recoil will just sort of jet up nicely and you'll hit a couple of headshots, which makes it very, very powerful. But the rest of the shots for the most part are going to be 2-shot kills, which sometimes can get you killed, and probably why this weapon isn't used an awful lot, just because it doesn't get consistent 1-shot kills. But if you do like burst weapons, this is probably the weapon for you. Or again, you could try the AN94 in that variety with it's just those 2 bursts. Like, you turn it on a single shot and it still fires 2 shots. You just tap that trigger and it's hilariously powerful. Anyway guys, hopefully you did enjoy this list. The face cam returns again. Ooh, you love to see it. Face cam returns again. But thank you very much for watching this one. I do appreciate it, of course. But yes, the ring light is actually making me a blind man here, so I do have to sign off. Thank you very much for watching this one. Let me know of any underrated weapons that you think are in this game in the comments below. Make sure you leave a like. We're trying to get 22, I think. And make sure, if you haven't already done so, to subscribe if you are new around here, of course, with those notifications turned on. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye!